It's your boy Jazz Wanna Supplier, BBCRadio.com. It's the Aries Lounge podcast. We back in the building with another epic, another ticket to another level episode. This time we've got color.
Very much so.
Yeah, we've got color on multiple levels. I'm sitting here with my peoples. You know what I mean? He is a chef. He's a soon-to-be author. He is a crafter of flavors. You know what I'm saying? He is a dynamic individual, full of personality.
Stop.
Oh, come on.
Please stop.
We've got Chef Patrick in the building. What's going on? How you feeling?
What's going on, sir? How
I'm
are
good.
you?
I'm
How's
living
everybody out there in the TV world? How's everybody?
For those at home, he has got the nicest home I've seen in this region of some sorts, and he's got a fabulous kitchen, and
Yeah.
he got my stomach growling. I'm done. We about to we about to turn up.
Having a beautiful home is in the gay handbook.
Yes, definitely, it's a necessity. I don't have enough gay friends, so I need to turn it up in my lifestyle. But
you're supposed to have at least two. At least two.
I've got one. I'm falling short. Okay, so actually there might if I add you in, that could be two.
Winning.
Official. Now I'm in there. You know what I'm saying? So I've never done this before. I've always wanted to cook on air, but I never did. So this is my dream come true, fat boy dream of talking and eating. And me not getting fussed at, because normally in my household, I'm getting fussed at to get out the kitchen while they're cooking. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? So, how are you doing, first of all?
I'm doing amazing.
Word.
And I say that with complete honesty. It's actually my new practice. Because once upon a time when I had a different mindset, people would ask me how I'm doing, and I would always say how I felt. Mm-hmm. And the reality is we, live in that space where we think too much of ourselves and too much of our problems. So now when people ask me how I'm doing, I don't care if it's raining, snowing, I'm amazing.
Word. Well, you living amazing. Everything looks amazing. You know what I mean? Nice vibe.
It costs a lot.
For real.
It costs a lot of money to look this cheap.
All right, now you prepared this, and I need to get my drink on. So please, can you intro this?
This is what we're going to call summertime in the glass. That's what we're going to call this.
Yeah, that's lit.
This is completely inspired by that whole feeling of wanting something fresh and cooling and relaxing and not too pretentious. I say not too pretentious, but there's cucumber on the side of the glass. Right. But needless to say, it has a little bit of ginger in here, some lime. It has some green apple cider, and then it has some fresh cucumber.
Thank you. I've literally been waiting.
Because he picked up the glass, I can pick up mine.
Jesus Christ.
And it is amazing. Feel like Malibu. Feel like you should be in a spa somewhere, getting a massage.
This is freaking great.
They ain't here to see out the bottle though. That's a real good time.
That's a different good time. This
classy.
Puts me in the
Sunday.
mood. Right. That's Sunday. What I'm saying. Like,
for the Lord.
It almost feels healthy. It's almost like I'm getting drunk, but I'm losing weight at the same time. That's the way you want to be.
And see, the crazy thing is might as well plug while I'm at it.
Plug away.
I'm working on the cocktail line, and the cocktail line is going to be called Mixed.
Okay. And
this is pretty much going to be me in a bottle, where people can literally take a conceptualized drink that's already made and concocted, that's seasonally appropriate, organic, fresh made by my hands, made and constructed with love, and it's going to be able to be purchased at my launch party on November the 10th. Get your tickets now on Eventbrite.
Yeah.
Follow me at the Chef Patrick brand on Instagram.
Word. I'll drop the link in the video so that way y'all can copy tickets. I'm definitely going to be there. Before we go any further, I remember my 35th birthday. You chefed up bunch of food.
I did.
And it was the most amazing. You weren't drunk that night. Come on.
Listen, honey, I'm on a lot of medication.
You chefed
I
up
couldn't
some
tell you
amazing,
what I had on yesterday.
Yeah, I'm saying you did wings. I think you did like a rice medley.
Did we do it at the station?
No, we did it at G10. So you put some trays of food in.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, people were fighting over the dishes. Like, because, we had a good amount, but I had more people show than I expected. And they were just going at it.
Oh, my God. I forgot all about that.
There was one tray of food I didn't even get to touch. I think it was some ribs. I don't know, something you did. And now they were like, it was good. And I'm like, all right, well, give me some. Because I had to come late, fashionably. So I get in there, and they like, yeah, it's all gone. So I'm like, y'all ain't even set a bro a plate or something. So, but I wanted to say thank you for that.
I feel so bad now. Now I owe you a meal.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
It's right here.
Yes, it is. That is a great transition. So, what do you have that you're preparing for?
So just as much of a seasonal chef I am when it comes to making cocktails, it's the same across the board when I'm cooking. Mm-hmm. And this time of the year, I want things to be light, approachable, really quick, accessible. So I'm doing seafood, of course. Great. I'm trying to get my snatch back. Okay. I would love to have a burger right now, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to turn on the grill. Okay. So I'm going to do a seared scallop dish as a starter. And it's going to go on top of whipped curried grits mashed potatoes. I had to slow that down just to give it to him because I know somebody out there is going to hear this, see this, and be like, ooh, now I created the same thing he did, and now it's my idea. No. You heard it here first.
Whipped curried
grits mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
They're together. Because I love the texture of grits and I love the texture of mashed potatoes. Mm-hmm. And it kind of lightens it up to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. And that's going to go right under the seared scallop. And the seared scallop is going to be garnished with a little green apple salad. Yeah, we're going to be bougie today.
Classy.
Yes, classy.
Thank you. This is for the ladies out there. Yeah,
we're going to do a seared cod dish. Seared cod is going to be served over top of succotash. Mm-hmm. A seasonal succotash where I'm using squash opposed to a bunch of beans and a bunch of heavy stuff. Okay. It's going to be my version of it. Okay. And then it's going to be garnished with a mango salsa, which is spiked with tequila. Yes. Okay, it's going to be alcohol everywhere. I didn't put narcotics anywhere because I didn't know what everybody's,
Yes, I'm not in. Thank you.
I need waivers and such for that.
Yeah, everybody on that side is cool. I don't do any of that. I'm just stick to the alcohol.
Absolutely. And then we're going to do... I had made a caprese salad. Caprese is that traditional thing that most chefs eat this time of the year. Most people, and my sister loves it. Mm-hmm. It's like one of her favorite things. Caprese. Caprese is
this is super
tomato, mozzarella, and basil combination, a little balsamic reduction. It's really light and creamy and rich and bold and full-bodied.
Is that like an hors d'oeuvre, or is that just like a snack
That's
food?
A salad. That's the starter. That's what we call starter.
Starter. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I have a little cake. I could not have dessert. It's only, I do more than just cook, he bakes.
That's what's up.
Okay? So we have a double chocolate cake with some fresh strawberries and some shaved chocolate curls.
Lit. That is so lit. I'm going to keep drinking. You can keep talking. I am not going to. Mm-hmm. All right. So get to work because I'm hungry. I specifically didn't set up. I got plenty of time.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm just seasoning my scallops. Now, like I said, I'm bougie. Mm-hmm. So I'm seasoning it with Himalayan pink sea salt.
Himalayan pink sea salt.
Yes. I don't like general iodized or, everyday salt. No offense to anybody who does. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, this is lighter. It's not so aggressive. And then I like table grind black pepper. If you don't see smoke, your scallop shouldn't be in the pan.
Really?
Because that's how you get caramelization. Any chef that's serving you some seafood that ain't had a hard sear, that means when it gets to you and it doesn't have a crust on the top and it looks like it's been sweating in the oven, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Okay. And you should complain about it and have them comp the check.
Gotcha.
See that little color right there?
Ooh, it's smelling good.
Show the people on
it's smelling good.
Camera. What's going on? That's the kind of color you want on a scallop. That's flavor.
I mean, it's smelling
all
delicious.
Of that right there. Then we're going to take us a little rosemary and put that inside that oil like that. And what this is going to do is you're just going to use that oil and give it that nice basting at the end. And it's going to give you that extra layer of flavor. While that's finishing, I'm going to turn it off. In a minute, they'll be done.
Okay, so that looks like onions and apples.
A little bit of onion, a little apple, a little vinegar, a little ginger, a little garlic, a little salt, a little pepper. Just really light. And then now we're going to garnish. Things look better when they have color.
This is so awesome. I'm checking it out right now. Oh, this looks so good. This was freshly made.
Oh, yeah, right in front of you.
Yes. Oh, my God, yes. Okay, so you got the creaminess in it. Mm-hmm. It's got a little spicy kick in it.
Just a little kick in the back.
But it's not
Not too
It
aggressive.
doesn't overtake all the other great flavors in it.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a little apple on that thing too.
That little bit of crunch. I'm all about texture. If you eat a meal,
even these apples just got a whole different vibe to it. Wow, and all of it together. Okay,
I cook. A lot of people out here say they do, but I actually cook.
I would have never put these elements together, like scallop mixed with the grits and the mashed potato, and then the apple. The apple is crazy,
isn't it?
The apple brings out a whole different like.
And this is actually one of those dishes that is inspired by one of my favorite chefs, Gordon Ramsay.
Okay.
Holla at a brother. Call me. I'll do guest appearances. I'll sign up, whatever you need me to do. But he's like my chef idol. And the thing about him that helps groom who I am as a chef is I have trouble editing. Being able to just put 4 ingredients on a plate like you have in front of you.
Correct.
And have it sing, opposed to putting 20 ingredients on a plate. Right. That's how you can tell someone who has gotten to a place in their full realization as a chef. You know, somebody says they're cooking you a meal, and like you said, it makes it look easy. Right. It doesn't look fluid when they're doing it, you should be very, very afraid.
So, is that the master level when you get to the place where you can toss 4 ingredients together and it's gonna blow you away?
Absolutely. That's what I feel.
All right. So, how many ingredients do we have on this? Was that a mystery?
It's literally 5. Literally 5 staple ingredients.
So you only got you shave 1 ingredient off and you're in there.
Yeah, I'm still winning. You still got a whole dish.
So, how long does it come? Cause look, I me cook, but me no cook like this. Me no cook like
well,
these.
Chef Patrick does cooking classes. And
right.
we can give you my business manager's information, and we can set that up.
I'm definitely with it. So, like, yeah, y'all definitely need to hit him up on IG.
Yes, hit me up.
And definitely get your cooking class. But, like, I one of the things is I don't have the imagination for it. Like, I would think in my mind, well, apples, that doesn't go with it. Well, let me keep apples to dessert. I wouldn't. Is that something that you developed? Somebody taught you how to think like that? Or?
No. The one best asset that most chefs have is their palate. Mm-hmm. Your palate kind of grooms your cook style in your thought process. It becomes that sight when you're blind. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? It's that thing that can guide you. You know, people fail to realize your tongue is broken down in 4 parts. Mm-hmm. Salty, sour, bitter, sweet. Okay. The goal as a chef is to hit all those notes. So as long as I have something salty, something sweet, something sour, something bitter, all of those flavors play off of each other to balance each other out to make a complete picture.
And I can kind of taste that.
So you have the sour.
Right.
You have that luxurious, light sweetness from the curry grit situation.
Right. Because
there's a little bit of honey in there. Mm-hmm. And then you have that rich boldness and that nice sort of umami from the scallops. Mm-hmm. And that nice sear on top of that. And then you have that freshness that kind of hits that whole sour bit.
And it just brings it all together. And it's kind of light. But it's like...
You don't feel bad.
Right.
Give me more.
Yeah. Oh, I'm eating.
It's like I go to a restaurant, we'll go to a restaurant, and they'll say, well, what can we get you? And I'll say to the waitress, everything. And she'll look at me and be like, are you sure? Yes, everything. Because the fact of the matter is whatever I don't like, I'm not paying for.
Facts.
But I'm still going to pay more than the 2 tables next to me.
Gotcha.
So go away and go find it.
Okay? That works. At this point, we're going to take a break. Y'all keep it locked. It's the Aries Lounge Podcast. Let's go.
Aries Lounge Podcast. Released every Tuesday. Subscribe via iTunes, Google Play, or iHeartRadio. You can also check out the videos on our YouTube channel. youtube.com/JS1 The Supply. Or just search VVC Life. Listen, share, and comment.
And we're back. Aries Lounge Podcast. We in the building. I got my guy, Chef Patrick, in the building. I've had my first course, which has changed my soul. Like, I'm in an excellent place. And obviously, this beverage of epic proportions, I'm feeling good. So, before we get into the second course, I need to slow down.
Okay.
because you didn't give me. Now we've done radio interviews,
Yeah.
and you kind of given me some of it, but a lot of my TV listeners have not had an opportunity to get to know you. So please, can you give us some of your history? Like, where? All right. You were born in Baltimore?
I was.
East side or west side?
East.
Gee,
I was
all
born
right.
East Baltimore. East side bred.
So you fight dirty. So okay,
Yes.
we got you. All right. You hit people with chairs and
Absolutely.
baseball
Right in
bats
the middle
and
of
stuff
church
like that.
service.
Got you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Got you. Wear 10 boots. You know,
Yep.
everything.
If I need to.
Got you. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
All right. So you said you were always cooking for the family. So you were the oldest of
Five boys.
5 boys.
My mother had 5 sons, and she had me through her first marriage, 3 through her second, and her last through her last marriage. She changed her name for line of credit.
Gotcha.
So, you know,
Gotcha.
she's
That's lit.
resourceful.
That's smart.
Okay.
I might need to holler at
That's
her.
what I call
I'm trying to get this house.
You know,
So like, you know,
she's the backbone of why I deal with men the way I do.
No comment. We're going.
Exactly.
Okay,
We'll
let that
brush
one.
on past that one.
Yeah, we got a whole nother segment for
Okay.
that. So what was like? You know, what was the house like growing up? Like, what was the predominant music? And since you're a chef, like, what were the core meals that kind of came around on the regular? Because I could tell you 6 meals that I ate.
See,
8
my
days a
manager's
week.
sitting over there shaking her head no because she doesn't want me to give you the honest truth.
Oh,
But
so she
this
got
is
to leave
like
then.
an
So
honest
we
truth.
got to get the dirt.
No,
I need to see.
I will say that I come from what I call the traditional Baltimore upbringing.
Okay.
You know, where my parents struggle with their demons. Okay? And me being the oldest, it was like one of those things that kind of naturally grew me from the very beginning. Because naturally, I hated my upbringing. That whole woe it's me bit. This is what happened. It's not fair. But the beauty in that whole synopsis is it groomed me as not just a chef, but a man and individual. You know, it gave me a very relentless nature, that whole survival characteristics. I feel sorry for kids who don't know what struggle is, believe it or not. Because they don't, I feel like they don't have the tools they need to survive in all situations. You can throw me in the middle of the jungle, okay? The jungle, and I will survive. I'm going to be well fed. I'm going to be well groomed. I'm going to be in the latest leaf fashions. I'm going to be pulled together. But the one thing I can thank my mother for outside of her faults was planning being a chef inside of me. You know, when she was doing what she was supposed to do, she worked for Johns Hopkins Club in Camden Yards, in the mayor's office. Like, she fed important people, you know, and I was knee-high to a grasshopper, learning how to do things that you were supposed to do and things you weren't supposed to do. And what I mean by that is, in one hand, this is how you feed 50 people with $100. On the bad side is, this is how you open a canned good with a knife. You know,
Gotcha.
You know, it's that. And those are the very things that I loathed and had issues with and battled with. But as I got older and I realized that being an adult is not all it's cracked up to be. You know.
Facts.
That you kind of got to take the good with the bad. So, you know, that's pretty much it. And you know, like I said, oldest of 5 boys, I always cooked. Always. Like, I was always in the kitchen. My brothers played football. And they're all straight. Like, they're heterosexual, hormonal men who needed to eat. And the only way to satisfy them when my father was doing his 14-year bid and my mother was losing her mind somewhere, how do I feed them? I had to learn how to be able to do a whole lot with very little.
So it was like peanut butter and jelly,
No.
lots of hamburgers.
Nope.
No?
My
Noodles and noodles and hot
my
dogs?
brothers ate like this even as children. Because
Like this?
yes, like when it came down to providing for them, it was like, these are my children and they're gonna eat the way I eat. You know, and I was in the restaurant industry the most part of my teen years. So they didn't know what, you know, not being fed a good meal was. They were accustomed to it. Now they hold the women in their lives to a certain standard, not because of our mother, but because of me. Because they are like, listen, our brother don't cook like this. This ain't right. And you need to call him to figure out how to make this, like, because this is not going to work. And it groomed them as men, and it gave them the quality of life that they have now as coming from an inner city, being young black men in today's society. My brother's graduated college. Like, I have an HVAC, I have a truck driver, I have quite a few. Okay?
Well, you got 5 of them, so you have a bunch of different career paths.
Yes.
All in,
I need my money back.
Word. Shout them out. They tell them to cash the checks.
I need my money back.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
So, getting off of them and back focused on you, what created the personality that I've grown to know and to be so infamous, not only online but in real life? Like, I mean, you know, did you? I mean, I'm assuming, and I could be completely wrong.
By all means,
probably am. But being that when you have a large family, it's like to be seen and heard. You had to
well,
voice up. You had to step up. And,
you know, it's something, and I say this a lot. You know, something about a Pisces, and I just, you know, I'm not really a zodiac person, but when it comes to outside and our aesthetic, we're very creatively driven. And a lot of people think that we into a room that we want the attention on us. That's the complete opposite. We want you to look that way. Okay. You know, because the fact of the matter is we are regardless if you're paying attention or not. But that thing that made me the monster that I am, I would say life groomed this. Especially when it came to that transition from going from the restaurant world to working properly in the club world in Baltimore City. That's what I did. I went from 7 years of working in the restaurant industry and working jumping clean into the club world. So it was like a culture shock, you know, and it started grooming parts of me that didn't exist. But it also started to help develop my personality because in that field, in that realm, I had to become personable. Like, I had to interact with people and, you know, be able to have people come back. And I knew the thing about, you know, getting return customers is not all about what you're serving on the plate. It's what you're serving right here. Because we live in a world where people are literally driven by the interaction you have with them. If you leave a bad taste in people's mouths as it pertains to who you are, then it's hard to get them to come back.
Facts.
So I had to perfect that. And then being a gay black man in Baltimore, in the restaurant industry, working in the club world, oh, it was a hell of a struggle. You know, it was that moments where people were like, I'm not eating this food because it's gay.
Shit, they missing out. Shit.
They will starve.
Delicious.
They will starve.
Right here. Like, this,
okay?
This
we're raising your children. We're milking your cows. You know, we're milking we are milking your cows. We're doing everything that pertains to what you are trying to hide from. It changes hands. It has nothing to do with my sexual preference. Because the fact of the matter is, 9 times out of 10, I don't want you. I just want you to buy this $30 plate so I can meet my food cost parameters at the end of the month. That's it. That's all I need from you. And that took some time. But once I knew one thing is for sure and 2 things for certain, is consistency will give you millions among men. Consistency. That means doing something right consistently enough where somebody says, oh my God, they're good at what they do. You understand what I'm saying? It was that thing.
So, all right, my next question comes down to before I get there, you were saying jumping from the restaurant to the club.
Yes.
So you were cooking.
I was cooking in a restaurant.
Catering.
No, I was working in the restaurant industry. I was the youngest certified trainer of the company. But it was at that young point of Patrick's life where I was very rebellious.
The young point of Patrick's.
And I was like the problem child of the restaurant. It's like he cooks well, but he causes havoc.
Yeah, that sounds like you. 100%. That sounds like you.
So it was like we have to let him go. He's now, he's a liability. And at that point, it shocked my foundation. Because at that moment, I had lost something that I knew for a very long time. You know, it's the first restaurant I worked at. I've learned so much being there. I built so many relationships. And my attitude and my actions sabotaged what was meant for me in that moment. And I ended up having to figure out what next. But I knew I didn't want to go back to the restaurant industry. Because the thing is there's that structure. You know, it's just like working for corporate. This is how we pour water. This is how the plates go. This is where this goes. This is where that goes. I wasn't that person. That's why our store was one of the highest selling in the corporate chain. Because I would be able to give my guests whatever they asked for. People would be like, oh my God, that's not in the handbook. You know, it was that, but I didn't care. You know, I knew my goal was to appease them. And me stepping into the club world, and I say the club world because it's literally a whole nother world. You know, it was a whole nother understanding. It was a whole nother battle because you're dealing with people. You have to be responsible for everything. You're responsible for the parties that are thrown, how things are set up, how the food is ordered, where things are coming from, who's making the schedule because they hired somebody who's not doing their job. It was that. And then I became the guru of fixing problems. So I went from club to club. Every club owner snatched me and paid me something different than where I was the year next. I was one of the I say this to this day, I was one of the highest paid chefs in Baltimore City. I made $4,000 a week.
Jeez.
That's what I made. I made $4,000 a week doing what I did. Like hard cash in my hand, tax, here's $4,000 for doing what I did because I was responsible for the staff and the bartenders and the concepts and where we're ordering the plates from and where we're going to pick the furniture from. My hands are everything. And my manager now will tell you, her biggest argument with me is, I want you to focus on the kitchen.
Cooking, right.
I need you to stay your cute ass in the kitchen. But now I'm at this age and at this point in my life where that's all I want to do. All I want to do is cook. I want to show up and the tables are set, people where they're supposed to be, cocktails are poured, the bartenders have their makeup on and their titties up to their chin, without me having to guide any of it. All I want to do is prepare the food and show up.
So that kind of brings us to where we are now. Like, so now you're about to drop a book,
a cookbook.
So what inspired that? Like, you can't. You in front of a typewriter. You in front of a grill or a stove. So, like,
I felt like it had to be on paper. You know, and I say that because my cookbook is not just your general humdrum situation. You know, it's from the pain to the plates. That's the title, from the pain to the plates, where I'm drawing from that influence of what got me here. You understand what I'm saying? And the biggest thing is not to just paint a picture to people and saying, this is how you make a Caesar salad. But this is why I make my Caesar salad. You understand what I'm saying? This is why it happens the way it happens, why we're doing it the way we're doing it. Because I'm trying to convey and put people right where I am when I'm doing what I'm doing. And I feel like people relate a whole lot better to something when they actually feel like it's relatable.
Word. Well, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to be right back. Y'all keep it locked. Aries Lounge Podcast, bbcradio.com. Let's go. And we're back. Aries Lounge Podcast. I'm in the building with the
Chef Patrick.
Ultimate Chef Patrick.
The Chef Patrick brand.
You were supposed to let me do the intro. I was about to be like chef,
you know,
writer, you know what I'm saying, just stylist out here, you know, food expert, foodie.
Yes,
do you feel like every chef is a foodie?
No.
So like you can be a chef and not be a foodie?
Yeah, you can be a chef and not be a foodie. No, there are some chefs, shockingly enough, that don't enjoy eating. They just eat for the sake of eating. So it is weird.
They chew it and then spit it out into
That's it. Like,
that's weird.
You know.
I don't like those people. But, all right, so tell me where we at now. What we got going on here?
What are we doing now? Now we're going to a second course. This right here is what I call a chipotle aioli. And this is pretty much like a homemade mayonnaise.
Okay.
But it's infused with chipotle adobo. And this is actually one of the sauces in my sauce line. That I'm actually going to be offering at my launch party on November the 10th, 2018.
So have you guys figured out the price point per bottle?
Yes.
Okay, so how much money do I need to
It's be
bring?
very reasonable. It's not gonna be
Okay.
like, oh my god.
$20 a bottle.
No.
That's
Not no.
I'm just asking. How much? You know, do I need to
No,
cash
it's
out my
not.
401k?
No, you don't. You have to take a second mortgage on your house.
Okay,
No.
cool. You know what I'm
Nobody
saying?
has to die.
All right.
It's just gonna be very affordable. I wanted the price point to fall in a place that people are literally comfortable when it comes to a marketable sauce like ketchup or mustard.
Gotcha.
You walk into the aisle and you see ketchup and mustard that's done in an actual form that is quality. That's what I want you to pay for my sauce.
Gotcha.
And I want you to be able to see the ingredients. I want to be like, Breyers, where this is what's in it and that's it.
Gotcha.
And I want it to be marketed so that eventually it replaces the sauces that people are accustomed to having in their refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact of the matter is we're living in a time where food is a new medicine, and I want people to be very cognizant of what they're putting in their body. And sometimes it's not always the actual protein or the side or the vegetable. Sometimes it's those extra add-ons, the sauces, the artificially chemical-filled things that we buy to add flavor to our food.
Gotcha. Very true. All right, so Chef has just scraped,
Smeared.
okay,
It's
smeared
called smear.
the
That's
product,
what it's called.
the sauce that will be available at the event.
Yes.
Please get your tickets right now.
Get your
on
tickets
Eventbrite.
now.
And all right, in that bowl, it looks like some squash. It looks like
Squash, zucchini,
Mm.
fresh summer corn,
Mm.
roasted red pepper.
It looks delicious.
This is what I call a succotash.
I
And
do
the thing
not-
is that I love about this is the zucchini and squash, especially this time of the year, has like a bite to it. And the corn is like really sweet without you having to add anything to it. And of course the roasted red pepper adds color to the whole situation. That's going to be the foundation for holding up our protein. And I say that because usually in this instance people use a starch.
Right.
I'm in a new dynamic of diet
Okay.
where I now try to always, if I can, replace the starch with a vegetable
Gotcha.
without missing it.
Gotcha.
Okay? So in this instance, instead of me having a plate full of mashed potatoes for my cod, which is what we're putting on top of our succotash, is a seared piece of Atlantic cod.
Mm.
Oh my god, it smells amazing.
This looks transcendent.
And then we're going to top it with our tequila marinated mango salsa.
I'm sorry, did you say tequila?
Tequila macerated mango salsa. One of the thing about my sauce line is either one or two ways, all natural or infused. Infused being that it's infused with a spirit.
Gotcha.
Like my Caribbean jerk sauce is infused with a rum. My margarita wing sauce is infused with tequila. My peach Syrah or peach, my peach paradise barbecue sauce is infused with vodka. That type of thing.
Oh my goodness.
And then we put that right on there like that.
Oh, look at that. Do y'all see that? Do you see it? This is just... It's just full of color. Like, I love the color.
And it has to have color. Like,
it looks
food
like
should
it
not be boring.
smells.
It should not be boring. Food should be exciting. You should look at it when it hit the table. You should be like a kid, shaking your feet, clapping your hands like, oh my god, this is mine.
Yes, definitely.
And then I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of balsamic reduction just to add a little bit of sweetness to the situation.
That's how you know you're a chef. You just bam.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta come up with a tagline. Cacao. You need a tagline. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey. Ooh,
That's yours.
Thank you so
And
much.
This is going to be for production.
Oh,
What's up,
yes.
folks over there?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you were me, but you're not, you would be smelling just a life-changing
It's crazy.
moment.
And it's
here.
crazy that, it even shocks me sometimes where I'll be cooking and I'll be like, oh my god, I made this. Hold my meal.
Crack open.
Hold my meal.
Oh my, this is the whole. Hold on. I didn't get enough.
Give him a second. Give him a second. We're not leaving you right here. It's
The
not
fish-
over.
The fish is fluffy.
Flaky.
Flaky is flavorful.
Oh my god.
But then all of these different flavors are smacking you in the
Like
face.
Ratatouille. You remember that movie Ratatouille? The
Mhm.
colors go off in his mind like
Right. We got a mango over here. You got the, you know what I'm saying? You got, all this stuff, man. The squash is delicious. Oh, I forgot. You got your little sauce thing over here. I got
Yes, little chipotle,
I'm gonna have to
little
get me in some of
creaminess.
that little thing right on.
And please stop overcooking your vegetables, okay? We understand that we were raised in that culture that you know, canned vegetables is okay, or cooking your green beans for 10 hours was justifiable. Fact of the matter is that flavor lives within the nutrients, and you can't have that full effect if you kill that whole little synopsis. So,
Listen.
and then the mango is fresh, seasonal. It's that time of the year. Very Caribbean on the plate.
It's not overdone. See, it's got a little kick to it, but it's creamy.
Yeah.
It's flavorful. Like,
Yeah.
no. And it's not. It's healthy. I'm just
Yes.
loving this. I'm loving this, man. I'm loving it.
Did you think I was making pizza?
I've never had nothing like this before.
Oh, you know I was gonna feed you the right way.
Wow. This is, if y'all, just spend the money. That's all.
You're gonna have to.
How much are the tickets to the event on November?
The tickets to the event right now are only $50.
Boom. Did we
But see, the
get?
thing about my events, the only thing about my event is that my event has layers to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's an entertainment factor. My goal is to make sure you're intoxicated if you drink.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make sure you're well fed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, entertainment is at, you know, top level type situation. You know, outside of the fact of having me, I mean, that there's enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I encourage people to buy tickets now because as it gets closer to the actual event, the price of the tickets will increase.
I tell you like this. I feel like it's worth it because number one, I'm getting a gourmet meal.
Yes.
I ain't know nothing about the alcohol part, so like, you got to get 2 tickets off that alone.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then just the flavor. Oh my God, this is so.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
I don't want to just sell you something and say this is what I'm doing without being able to back it up. And the thing about, you know, this day and age is to be able to sell yourself completely. And the best way to sell yourself is to be able to provide something that you can stand behind.
Mm-hmm. Keep talking.
And, you know.
You got this. I mean, just listen now. I'm just going
I cannot. This is all too much.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, your interviews don't be like this elaborate
Hell no.
at all.
I mean, you know, shout out to Pork Chop and them, but y'all
What's
niggas
going on, Pork Chop?
y'all ain't bring me no food though. You ain't cook while I was sitting there, so.
I didn't say that.
You know what I mean?
That did not come from me.
100 grand, man. You better get you a wifey or something.
That did not come from me, okay? I'm just a guest on the show. Okay?
Stars, kiss my ass. Like, this is nothing. This is
Yeah,
it.
and I have a philosophy now. I'm never going to beg nobody to eat my food. I'm not going to beg you to eat my
You should
food.
never have affected by nobody, especially when
Why
you say
should
like
I have to beg you to come eat my food?
You ought to be out of your mind. Well, I guess I'm leaning more towards you because I've had your food many times before,
Right.
so I already know how phenomenal you
Right.
are. But I feel like when you're eating, like, why shouldn't you give something a chance? Nothing annoys me more than to go out on a date with a woman and then she be like, I don't eat this, I don't eat that, I don't eat it. Then the date is over. Take your raggedy ass home, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because life is too short
Too
to
short.
not be able to try
It's too
something
short.
new, something different. Like, these flavors are so crazy. Like, I want to be hit with new flavors. I want to be hit with different experiences.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah,
I want to be shocked.
right.
The one thing I learned from being in the restaurant industry is that culture of catering to the high society or to who's who. The fact of the matter is you must always exceed your guests' expectations.
Done.
Period.
Executed.
If they expect a grilled cheese, it needs to be the best grilled cheese they've ever had in their entire life.
Nah, you don't need
Period.
cheese. I got this right here.
He ate the whole damn plate on camera. See, I'm a diva. I'm not even gonna try that.
You can be as bougie as you want to. I
I'm
ain't
not
out
even
here.
sip my coffee. This is where my nutrients are.
Yes, this is.
And I just had a salad.
I feel classy right now.
You should.
I feel like I got.
You should.
I feel like I got
I'm a
some
classy
food.
bitch.
Yeah.
I am very classy. and then people get confused because it takes us back to who I am as a man. My thing about that separates me from a lot of gay, try to be politically correct,
The gays.
gay people in Baltimore City,
The gays.
is that I have coof. You know, I have, I
You
have
trying to say gay
class.
people don't have cool?
Most people don't. They
Okay.
don't. We don't. We're like
Well, that was
disrespectful.
slick. Most people
We're
don't.
always pushing the envelope. We're always trying the man's hand. We're those people.
Trying the man's
Exactly. That's what I call it, trying the man's hand. When you're just doing things that you know goes against the grain of who you're supposed to be.
Gotcha.
And outside of being a queen, I was raised by a man who, you know, painting a picture of how things are supposed to go when you're a man. So that, you know, in complete totality created Patrick.
That's weird.
So it is.
Because I'm going to get into that. But I want to get back to this food for a second. We got a whole segment just stocked full of that. But
Yes.
So, how long does it take to prepare a dish like this?
Like that? Well, the thing about cooking is all about preparation. Okay, so my sauce is made ahead of time. So, okay, that's out the way. That's that first stage of your garnish, your sauce, that wet factor. My philosophy is it's better when it's wet. If it's not wet, it's not good. It's just my philosophy. It has to be wet. If it's not wet, it's no point of eating it. That's one. Two, your garnish doesn't have to be something extravagant. It doesn't have to be nothing. Like literally, my apple slaw that went on your scallops had 4 ingredients mixed in it before you got here. That was the vinegar, the Himalayan sea salt, the pepper, and the sugar. Those ingredients break it down just enough to draw out its natural essence that gives you that fresh, clean finish on your palate. And then your protein.
I still feel that though. Like I feel like even eating this, I don't. Once again, it's not heavy. I don't feel.
Right.
You know, like the aftertaste isn't like I'm still trying to you know digest or feel. I feel like.
Or
I'm
saying
ready
that it was good.
Right. No, don't be like that. I mean, even if it's good, you know what I'm saying? Some things can just be really heavy. Or like flavor rich. You ever had something so flavor rich, you're still tasting it.
Yeah.
You on the ride home, like I'm still eating it, and I done ate it,
Yeah.
and I'm still eating it. So like, but this is like, I'm ready for that cake. You know what I mean? I mean, not
Right.
second, but like, we lit. I'm just saying. It's food.
I
Like,
cannot.
what you want me to do? You know what I mean? Like, this is it. But all right, continue. All right, so all in all, you're thinking what? An hour, 2 hours?
An hour. And that's the thing. My encouragement for people is to cook. I just don't understand where all of a sudden we stepped into a world where cooking was taboo. Where it's like, oh my God, you're making a meal.
Well, one of the benefits that you have is that your life revolves around cooking. However, people such as I...
My life revolves around eating.
Facts.
Like you.
I wish.
I have teeth.
Yeah, but, you know, in the morning, you've got work, you've got responsibilities, you run around all day long, and then by the time I get home, 6 or 7 o'clock in the afternoon...
I don't want to hear that.
I'm just being honest with you.
My mother was that woman who set the precedence of how cooking was supposed to be within our household. If she could not cook during the week, she cooked on Sunday. And when she cooked on Sunday, the food she cooked on Sunday lasted till Wednesday. But she did 3 meats, 3 vegetables, 2 sides, a starch, and a dessert. You understand what I'm saying? So when we came home on Thursday, by the time my father got home on Friday, worst case scenario, he can buy some Popeye's chicken. Mm-hmm. That was just like how our synopsis went. But that came from an understanding that you must nourish your family. We have now put that responsibility in someone else's hand. That's where that problem lies, especially in this demographic, in this day and age, where it's okay to take your kid to an all-you-can-eat or carry-out or restaurant 3 times or more a week. That's crazy.
I was not raised on that. But
I wasn't either.
It's become the norm for
That's
our
absurd.
culture. Yeah, that's
it's absurd. Crazy. Especially considering we're living in a time where diabetes and hypertension and all these other issues are plaguing our generation the way that it's plaguing us. And we try to paint this picture that it's someone else's fault. No, it's not. It's not no one else's fault. It's our fault. Because I have a 3-year-old niece who has the same palate that I have. And in all reality, if she doesn't want something and doesn't fit in a certain category of understanding of what she's accustomed to, it's no. That's it. I don't want it. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the way kids are supposed to respond to food. You know, I have friends who are vegan who literally produce their kids food when they were 1 year old and 9 months old and 5 months old, where they were making things from scratch. Because the reality is we're living in a world where most of what's made on the shelves or produced inside of stores are filled with ingredients that you guys aren't accustomed to. So,
I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just trying to form a question. I'm delicious Disney.
He's
right
flabbergasted.
Yeah, I'm delicious Disney.
He's beside
You know
himself.
what I'm saying? And I'm hashtagging that.
You
That's
know,
my
I
word.
work beside myself
I'm
too.
delicious Disney. You know what I mean? Is there anything else you want to add to the food discussion before we move on to our next segment?
No, I can cook.
Okay, bad.
Get your tickets now. Chef Pantry Brand launch party.
Boom.
November the 10th.
It's gonna be lit. And then you're gonna have sauces on deck.
Sauce on deck. I have
what else is gonna be
my
available?
apron is gonna be there.
An apron?
Yes.
Like the purchase?
Yes.
It's gonna have your face on it?
I'm gonna give you a few of them. I would have a lot of props here. My business manager is like, listen, that's why we're having a launch party. They want to find it, they can find it there. But I am going to be designing an apron.
Okay.
The apron is going to say, get the hell out of my kitchen.
I like that.
We was having that conversation earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to feel like they have a part of me with them while they're cooking. And I want everybody around them to not be disturbing that nature of making greatness. So get the hell out of my kitchen. You're not here to help, get out. And of course the cookbook, the sauce line, the cocktails, and all those things will be featured there. And it's just an opportunity for me. The most pivotal thing that I want to happen is to put Baltimore on the map. I want us to be more valuable than a crab cake. I want us to be more valuable than Lexington Market, not just take anything from our history or our legacy.
We just went viral.
I just want us to... You irked my soul, I swear.
I'm just saying, that rap took us viral. Like,
oh my God, like, I swear to God, like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it wasn't. I looked at that and I was like,
it was crazy.
It's Lexington Market, nigga. Like,
in 1 year, y'all can take Anthony Bourdain, the chef extraordinaire, with Snoop from The Wire into Lexington Market and say, this is our backbone of what we stand for, and now we're reduced to a rank. Okay? That's a problem. So I have to step in and take order.
That is the reality and the duality of Baltimore. That's the part y'all gotta accept. Like, that is what makes us great and is what makes us shake our head at the same time.
Absolutely. I'm here for it.
Because we produce you, and this is a delicious fucking dish right here. Excuse me, I didn't.
Thank you.
Stop cursing, Jay. Stop cursing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I ain't had to say it the way it was saying. I mean, it's effing delicious.
Definitely was. So, all right, we're gonna go to one more break, and then we coming back, and we get real.
Oh Lord.
And don't go nowhere. Aries Lounge Podcast. And we're back.
Alright.
Aries Lounge Podcast. Yo, we've got the man of the hour here, the chef, the magic, the palate cleanser, the taste bud inspirer, the food magician.
Yes.
In the building. You know what I'm saying? He's a sauce. He's got the sauce. So if y'all definitely want to get saucy, you're going to have to link up with him. November the 10th?
Yes. November the 10th.
At a secret location?
No, it's not a secret location. We're going to be at Columbus Center.
Excellent. And your tickets...
On Brett Street. 701 East Brett Street.
The tickets are $50. It will include beverages of the alcoholic and non-alcoholic. You also will have plenty of sauce. You have to purchase extra sauce to leave it. But you will be also included a fine meal of multiple courses. Is this a dress-up event?
This is you coming how you are.
This is a dress-up event. So please make sure you wear some nice clothes. Don't come down here. Don't be coming down here with no...
working hard.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
real hard.
I can promise you, this motherfucker gonna walk through the door dressed like $1 million, and you gonna come in there with some house slippers on and some t-shirts talking about
let's go.
All right, so and I'm gonna dress up, so don't disrespect me out here.
I have to be on point.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm dressing up to eat this. I'm telling you, you don't want to not be dressed up.
You're gonna have to.
Because it's gonna make you feel underdressed. I feel underdressed, and I got a brand new. I just bought everything I'm wearing today. So anyway, that's a fact. You know what I mean? So anyway, one of the reasons why I wanted to sit down with you,
okay,
not only was to get another crack at your food,
okay,
but I don't want to. I've gone through a journey of evolving as a man,
Okay.
And we are in such a sensitive time period.
You should be.
Where what? Be sensitive
Yeah,
or
that.
evolving?
Both.
Okay, cool. All right. It's like as long as we're on the same page.
Yes.
You got Me Too movements. You've got the LGBTQ community, which is going to expand into other letters later on. It'll be ABCXYZ.
Don't do that.
Come on, because LGBTQ doesn't. Where's pansexual come in with LGBTQ? I'll let you finish.
I mean,
Exactly. So there's an alphabet of identifications.
Yeah.
You obviously grew up, obviously in Baltimore. We all, you and I are around the same age, over 25. And it wasn't like this 25 years ago. We were a lot more ignorant. I was probably one of the most ignorant.
It was a different time.
Word. So, how was it defining yourself in a world that didn't want you to use certain definitions? Like, how do you color with a crayon that's illegal? I'm going to use this now. No, you can't.
I get it. I really get it. That was
not
crazy.
Even illegal, but
and see, that goes back to the whole concept of myself, not everybody, feeling like our generation takes this thing of who we are a little bit too far. I was raised by man's man. That's just the way it was. And you had to learn how to conform or adjust to your environment. That's just where I come from. And I just feel like that's the thing. I used to think that was the thing that made my breed special, because we were the type of people that we knew how to conform. But now we live in a world where we have all these labels on it and how it's supposed to be measured and what someone's supposed to say and who you are as a person or individual. The fact of the matter is, as long as you believe in who you are as a person, that's all what should matter. But the fact of the matter is especially now that I sit in the public eye and I know that I have a responsibility to fulfill, my biggest message is to people is to always be yourself.
Right.
As cliche as that sounds, it's very true. Like, be yourself.
So, even in being yourself, I feel like the younger generation has a thing of they can't be themselves until they define who
lies.
they are.
All lies.
All right, so let me take it back into this. So, how do you identify? Because I was kind of wondering when I first said that. Do I identify you as he, or she?
Oh,
or
Lord, depends on what day it is.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
All right.
I'm a different breed. I'm a different understanding. What you identify me as, and what I always tell my following and people that support me, is to never confuse that at the end of the day, I'm a man. Mm-hmm. I'm very much an illusionist. Mm-hmm. When it comes to my character, that person that I paint when I am expressing who I am emotionally or physically, that is literally just a character. That's me painting a picture of someone else. But that's me being myself, because I like to be expressively out there. But someone else, it may be a whole different synopsis. Mm-hmm. That's why you're not allowed to say things to people that you're not sure of, because it paints you in the picture or in the light of being ignorant. Mm-hmm. When you don't know that, okay, that's a trans or that is someone who's pansexual. I'm not any of those. I'm just greedy. That's what I call it. I call it greedy. I don't call it gay.
So you just created a whole nother distinction out there. Thanks for adding on to the difficult amount of I don't know. Alright, so what about going back? How do you deal with being who you are? I mean, how do you deal with having the reality of, hey, I'm this way, but I don't like my dad. He ain't.
It's a no-go.
He is not with
a no-go.
Okay, I was cooking breakfast one morning, and I did, the Julia Fairchild's voice. Oh, first we're going to Yo, my father screamed from the second floor, you better stop talking like that! Dead ass. Like, he was like, yo, I couldn't even play. I wasn't even being serious. You know what I mean? I wasn't down there. I wasn't on the first floor sucking no dick. I was cooking breakfast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, And it was just, it was not
Listen,
cool or okay.
My father was very much so that person. You understand what I'm saying? He was very much that you had to sit a certain way, stand a certain way, carry yourself a certain way, and had to fall in a certain category. The way that I fit in, listen, I just knew that him going to jail was a message from God.
Thank God he went to jail.
Thank God he went to jail. Because if he did not, he would have beat it out of me. But the thing was,
holy shit.
The beautiful dichotomy was when he had to realize that the man that he knew in his head and the man that I was were the same people when he had to interact with his children. I raised them. You have to deal with them in a full retrospect of who they are and what they are based on what they are accustomed to. And my brothers, regardless of whoever they were and what they did, they had a structure, and that structure came from me. It did not come from him. It came from him in retrospect because I literally followed his lead because I wanted to be able to embed those things as a man in them that he embedded in me to make sure that it made sense. Because I'm a firm believer of balance. That's that one little thing that I just feel like my generation doesn't have, and that's balance. You know, we get so caught up on the hoopla and how things are supposed to go and how things are supposed to be said and how things are supposed to be presented. The fact of the matter is, it makes no difference as long as it all makes sense across the board. And that's my biggest tidbit, is to make sure that people understand that it's not all about how you think this is supposed to go. It's not.
So when did you know? Or when did you realize that?
You want to age?
Hell yeah! Come on now.
I will say
let's look at the manager. Is it okay if we get some details about his upbringing?
I mean, the first time I took dick was around like 19.
Didn't need to know that. All right. Dinner's over.
I mean, he asked. I mean, what is it? It was like 19. That's like the first time.
He just went. I was just pushed the boundaries and then we just went all the way.
That's what you get.
Okay. Needless to say, I say that to say.
Yeah. That's a first.
I say that to say, you know, I didn't have a tool for that. You know, I didn't have a tool to
identify
have somebody to paint a picture on how I was supposed to react in this world. You know, I was tortured for being this person in this world.
Okay.
You know, I received a letter from my father from prison that said I was the bottom of the totem pole. We sell you in here for that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You are this kind of person. This is what it is. And this is the life you will experience the rest of your life. But I knew that was a lie. I knew that was a lie because a lot of what he prepared me for as a man was a lie because of how I experienced life. You know, I knew it did not end with me. It did not end with a decision that I made. So within that reality, I knew that there was going to be more to come from what I expected. And he made it his business. He made it his business to paint this picture that as long as you are a queen, you will never survive. You know?
So where did you get the balance? So if he's
I got
giving
the balance
you, pushing you that extreme.
when I was put on the cover of Baltimore Times, when I was in the city paper.
Was that around the same time he wrote the letters?
Yes.
Wow.
It was like crazy. You know? It was crazy to go from a world where people were like, we don't respect who you are, to we need you to feed our brand. You know, I became the promoter's best friend. Okay? You know, he can't make his money if he don't have heads in this building. And it literally was derivative of how I felt that day. Because if I felt like I was in a good mood, then I could make $10,000 on the weekend. 10 on the weekend. Okay? That's outside of what he gave me to play with during the week. I literally, with food, painted a picture that fed everybody. It fed the bartenders, it fed the security, it fed the promoter, it fed the DJ, it fed the person who greeted you when you walked in the door, it fed me, it fed my prep staff. So how dare you question or challenge who I am when the reality is I pay everybody's bills?
So how, and I'm really asking this question because there are young kids who are growing up. They want to become, they want to have the confidence. They want to have the confidence that you embody. They want to have the pride that you carry. You know, how did you get to that place? You know, and what elements did you pick up along the way to get you to that place?
Well, you have to have some kind of a foundation. You have to. You know, I don't consider myself the most spiritual person in the world. I don't consider myself like this safe, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled situation. But the fact of the matter is I was groomed in an environment around people who had a certain kind of respect for higher power. You know, you have to understand that, you know, there's something bigger than you. You know, and I feel like that's the problem that we as a generation have a problem with. We have a God complex. We feel like it starts with us and it ends with us. It doesn't. You didn't write the book. Somebody wrote this before you got here. So you have to pay homage to that so that it recycles itself into who you are. You know, you can't feel like, oh, well, you know, I can sear scallops, so I'm the best scallop searer in the world. No. There's somebody that comes after you that's been groomed in what you understand, that's created to take you out of the spot that you're in. You know, we live in a society in the day and age that is meant to be recycled. You're supposed to be recycled, I'm supposed to be recycled. It's somebody that is meant to replace me, you, him, production, manager, whoever. And the fact of the matter is we have to always understand that we are not the end all to be all. And that's what created me. You know, I lived in a world of impossibility. You know, we gaze, we live vicariously through what we see. You know, and all we live by is that perfection, that understanding of this is what is perfect. And we don't steer from it. But the fact of the matter is that literally makes us who we are. Because the fact of the matter is we're literally all the same. We're not what we think we are. We're not as different as we think we are vicariously through who we are. Correct. If it makes any sense.
No, definitely makes sense. So, in this world, now, one of my important questions I need to personally ask you, because I needed a real answer to it.
Oh, Lord.
How the hell do I identify a person when I meet him so I know what to say? So, what words are...
Ask them.
Okay, so...
Who are you?
Hey, your name such and such, so... What am I supposed to call you? He, she, or...
No. You know firsthand that in any instance you're supposed to do research. That's the backbone of
if
who
I'm
you
walking
are.
into the grocery store, I don't have time to research somebody I don't know so I can identify, so I can say the appropriate...
Are you sure? Oh, you don't have enough time on your hands. You need to fire somebody if that's the case, because you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared. Because the unfortunate part about this is that there's no right or wrong way of how this is supposed to be done. And the fact of the matter is you want to cover all your bases. That's just what it is. I want to cover all my bases. It's not like, oh, well, I'm the only one in this interview that has to play that fits up. You know, I'm supposed to say what's right. You're supposed to say whatever the hell what you feel. But the fact of the matter is, we're supposed to say what makes sense.
Word. But I feel like you're given a kind of like pass to make more mistakes than I am. Like if I was to address somebody and they identify themselves differently than I view them. Like so, if they come in the room and it's like this is a guy, this is 100% a guy, and like, I am not a man, I am a woman, and I'm like, well, hell, I didn't. Now, and so you just meant to do that, and that's a derogatory statement, or my most comfortable term to identify a heterosexual male. I mean, not heterosexual, but a it's not homophobic. It's homosexual male. I would say it's gay. It's a gay person. Now, that's an offensive term. And I'm like, well, why is gay offensive? It's an easy festive.
Gay was offensive, isn't it?
Yes. I actually had a homosexual. That doesn't even sound right. I don't even like using the term homosexual.
Homosexual experience makes you feel dirty inside.
No,
Make
I'm
you
saying
like you did something you wasn't supposed
that
to do.
person was just like, yo, don't call us gay. We don't call us gay. That's just like derogatory. Just like you can't say the F word.
Oh, see, I'm not. Don't get it confused, honey. He's not a part of this millennial understanding. I'm an old bitch. Okay, I do things the way they're supposed to be done. I don't know what y'all doing in this day and age and how this thing is supposed to be played. But the fact of the matter is, as long as I'm not disrespecting you directly, we're good.
Right.
That's what it's supposed to be. That's what I understand.
I thought it was about intent. So if I
That's
come to
it.
you and I'm addressing you as sir or madam, or I'm, and
Yeah,
I'm not
like,
even trying to give
even
off that
with
energy.
intent. You can go to a hotel with somebody that you intent to do something with, but the reality is they perceive something else. The fact of the matter is, that's what the hell it is.
That's fact, yeah. And things, you just turned this whole thing into a Me Too thing. I wasn't ready
Exactly.
for that.
Intent. He said intent. I didn't say intent.
I mean intent in how you address somebody. I didn't
You
say
heard what I
intent.
said. You heard what I said. You heard what I said.
So at the end of the day, how do you feel like you're more comfortable in your skin than you've ever been?
I am. I'm more comfortable than I've ever been because, unfortunately, I've had the luxury of experiencing cancer twice. You know, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. And it was that one thing that slowed me down enough for me to pay attention to the outline of the picture. You know, I try to paint the picture to people that life is more than what you see. And I say that because I know that to be factual. I'm sitting here in front of you having an interview that I didn't think would ever be possible 3 years ago. That realistically is happening because I literally believe that we're living in a time that anything is possible. That's why I don't even like the fact of whole living in the world of, you gotta say pansexual, you gotta say gay, you gotta say. The fact of the matter is, what do you believe? What do you relate to? What makes sense to you? Because what makes sense to me is literally me being me and vulnerable as possible in front of you guys so that it makes sense.
So, like, I like to respond to that because I don't understand it, but the thing that I feel as though is important about growing up to me was to getting to the place of you don't need to understand it, but you just need to respect it. So, like, I may not understand the lifestyle or the choice. However, I respect that it's your choice to make, and I'm going to respect you because I want you to give me that same respect in return.
Right.
Now, it may take 1,000,000 years for me to understand the decision, but I'm at least now getting older, realizing that, you need to understand. You need to find a way to understand, or at least be open to the conversation. Because through the conversation comes something. Like,
a better you.
There you go.
A better you.
Exactly.
Like, that's just the goal. The goal
and
is to get better us.
I was pretty damn dope before, but now
yeah,
it gets you get better.
It becomes something completely different when you actually feel like you learned something. You're like, listen, honey, I've arrived. I've learned something. Like, and that's that's the thing that sparks something special inside of you.
Right.
But it takes certain circumstances, understanding certain moments to be able to groom those to happen for you to see what other people are hoping to see in you. I thought I had it figured out. I thought I had Chef Patrick figured out. But I knew at some point I had to take that feedback from someone on the outside looking in to be able to groom him to the place where he needed to be to say, okay, now it's time for a brand. It's time for a sauce line. It's time for seasonings. It's time for interviews. It's time for all of that, and here we are.
For a young person who is struggling with identity, come on, give me your. These are the suggestions.
1, 2, 3s.
Yep, your 1, 2, 3s. Your ABCs, 1, 2, 3s.
Stop listening to your friends.
There you go.
They are a bad influence.
100%, I agree.
Stop listening to your friends. Start listening to people that care more about the outcome than who you are as a person. You know, there are a lot of people that will literally make decisions based on who you are as a person, than opposed to how the impact will affect someone as a generation or as people as a group. That's one. Two, stop living vicariously what other people think. Me, I stopped following rules at the very beginning. Like,
there was a point where you followed rules?
I did. It was
okay.
a point I followed rules.
Is there any videotape of this? Is there
any no footage?
Audio or video?
Needless to say, I had to come to a place where I had to not just make a decision based on Patrick. I had to make a decision based on everybody. You know, even now I'm trying to become a brand. Like, I can't make a decision that completely is going to travel on how I feel. I have to consider how it affects my whole team. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you start thinking like a grown-up. You know, that's when you start thinking like a boss. When you start thinking about the things that literally feed who you guys are as a unit. You know, that's how Mac was created. That's how Duracell was created. That's how Stop, Shop, and Save was created. These brands and these franchises were created, built on the franchise of understanding of people who understood each other. And the last thing I would say, please stop embarrassing us gays. Stop embarrassing us. Like, we're not all the same. Like, stop it. Like, I'm not.
You are not a monolith.
Like, we're not. Like, it's not the case. Like, we are a people that literally are driven by the things that make happiness. Believe it or not, we would like to be cliche as it sounds, that we feed the whole unicorn, you know, happy-go-lucky situation. The fact of the matter is, a lot of us, all we care about is you guys making sense of what the fuck we got going on. Okay? That's it.
Now, it's time for us to get up out of here. But before we do, you gotta give me social media. You gotta plug away at all the rest
social
of
media?
Shit. Yeah.
Okay, Facebook is Patrick the Chef Robinson.
Shit.
Capital T, capital C. All one word. Instagram is the Chef Patrick brand. All one word. Okay? Then we have the Chef Patrick @gmail.com is my email. That's how all people who feel like they're important reach me, so my business manager can see it and be like, why are you talking to him? That's what I need y'all to go to. I need y'all to go to the Chef Patrick @gmail.com. And then anything outside of that, you can find me with this gentleman, this man right here, at whatever, next to whatever.
JS, the number one, THASUPPLIER, which we follow each other. We don't know why he doesn't remember any of it.
I don't know why. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not your publicist.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God. You know, you're a better cook. A much better cook. And don't forget to follow Aries at Aries Lounge, the show, and at VVC Radio. Also, don't forget to follow my director / producer and editor, King9 Designs. And don't forget to get your tickets to this guy's event ASAP. $50 a ticket. Alcohol, food, and the sauce. You know what I mean? So just make sure.
All that sauce.
That's what you should rename the event. Alcohol, food, and the sauce.
And the sauce.
No. The manager did not give us the go ahead. I feel like we should get rid of this manager right here. Because she will not give me any. Like, she don't let nobody get the juice or nothing. Like, she is not the sauce. But thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
And thank you for this phenomenal
I'm glad you enjoyed
meal.
it.
Mom,
you guys enjoyed
you
it.
never cooked this good. No disrespect.
Don't do that.
No disrespect. Oh, look, the managers, look at mine. The manager's defending you, because I'm not. You should come take some classes.
So
but anyway,
amazing.
but that doesn't mean I don't love you.
Thank you.
We all have a wonderful whatever, and we'll check you next time. Don't forget to check out all of the other podcasts on the joint, and subscribe, and we got to cut the cake.
We have to cut the cake.
Because,
Bye.
yeah. Let's go.
Yes. Is it off?
No.